Hello and welcome into the Nessin.com MMA podcast. I'm Andre Cacciatore coming at you alongside my very good friend and Nessin.com web developer, Tom Kitchen. UFC expert Tom Kitchen. He's here with me. How are you, Tom, today?
I'm well. How are you?
Oh, I'm excellent. I'm very excited about this UFC 227 card. I don't know. I'm excited. Not as excited as I want to be honest with you. I was more excited about this UFC Calgary card that just happened.
That was an amazing card.
Good card.
Played out exactly how you thought it would. Just bangers.
Yeah, exactly.
Lots of action.
3 out of the 4 fighters in the main and co-main had also been demolished by Conor McGregor at some point in their career.
Yeah, that was a bit of a thread, wasn't it?
It was.
Bit of a redemption for one of them, at least.
Exactly, yeah. Jose Aldo. So,
yeah, very happy to see that.
Yeah, he was very excited. But let's move on. Let's UFC 227 card features a flyweight title fight and a bantamweight title fight. Let's start with the flyweight.
Now, is that why you're not excited? Is the weight a bit of a factor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, these are 2 fights we've seen before.
That's very true. That's a good point.
We've seen both of these fights, and the rest of the card is very, it's a lot of guys that fans have not heard of these guys. I'm excited about that Cub Swanson Renato Moicano fight. Sorry. But the 2 title fights, we've seen both of these fights.
We have. And
we'll start with the first one, the co-main event of the evening. Demetrious Johnson going for his 12th title defense, 12th consecutive title defense, which is amazing. He's a heavy favorite, an odd shark, -500 against Henry Cejudo.
As he should be.
As he should be. These 2 combatants squared off at UFC 197, where Johnson beat Cejudo in the first round knockout.
Vicious knees to the body.
Yeah, and now Cejudo coming off 2 straight wins against Wilson Hayes and Sergio Pettis at UFC 215 and 218 respectively. Finally gets another shot at the belt.
He does.
What do we make of this? Does Cejudo have a shot?
I'm surprised he got the fight, first of all, because we were talking about it earlier. We were both really hoping for that DJ-TJ super fight. So this sort of feels like a bit of like a consolation prize. Like, hey, Henry Cejudo, why not? Let's run him back out there, see how he does.
Yeah, who else are you going to put him out there?
Yeah, that's a good point.
He's literally cleared out the entire division.
Yeah. I mean, if Sergio Pettis would have won, I thought that would have been a good fight, or an interesting fight anyway. Who knows, it would have been good. DJ probably would have done what he does to everybody. But, I mean, the only thing that you can sort of get excited about for this fight, I suppose, is, and a lot of fighters who lose those big fights always say this, like they, quote, didn't get to fight because he got worked over so quick. Like, he got caught in the clinch and just got knees rained on him. Right. And he just didn't know what to do. Like, Henry, I mean, Cejudo, it's tough to say a guy who had 10 fights at that point was still like green in MMA, but he more or less was. He was kind of getting by on his wrestling. So now you have like, it's however many years, 2 years is gone. You'd think maybe he knows how to deal with that situation a little bit better, right? He showed a little bit of power with the Wilson Hayes fight, so like there's the threat there. Hadn't knocked anybody really out before in the UFC, so you kind of didn't really think he was going to be much of a threat. But I don't know, I'm kind of just grasping at anything to get excited for this fight.
Well, the only way I get excited about it is, okay, look at Cejudo, 100% takedown defense in his in his
Olympic
UFC
gold
career.
Medalist. Yeah, he's a legit wrestler.
So, if he uses that to advantage somehow, maybe Demetrious Johnson plays down to his opponent, you might get an upset special here. But the other way I'm looking at it is if DJ somehow gets this victory, or if DJ does get this victory, you can make this exciting. If Dillashaw wins, then they get
the
DJ-TJ, square off to end the night.
Yep.
Just kind of like
I think that's what everybody's hoping
That's what everyone's hoping for. We'll see if that happens. But let's talk about one more thing before we move on to the main event. Demetrious Johnson.
Yes.
He's #1 pound-for-pound fighter in UFC. He's cleared out the entire division. And I just want to ask you, Tom, is he really this good, or is the division just this weak, or maybe a little bit of both?
Yeah, that's the question. That's the question that's sort of plagued DJ's career, and probably will plague his legacy if he doesn't go up.
Because he's not number 1 pound for pound anymore. Daniel Cormier took over that, actually.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I've just noticed that as well. Yes, Daniel Cormier is number 1 pound for pound.
My man, Daniel DC, double champion.
I mean, he has 2 belts. Why not?
Yeah, you can't really argue it. And I think Daniel Cormier he takes great pride in the pound for pound rankings. I've heard him talk about it before. And he talks about it as being a translatable skill that goes between weight classes. And his wrestling heavy-handed style seems pretty suited across all weight
very
divisions.
versatile. He can beat you in any way. And Demetrius Johnson, now he's number 2. You can make a case for DC. The reason why he jumped to number 1 is he's obviously the light heavyweight champion.
Sure.
When both of his losses coming against someone who was
probably is the pound for pound greatest,
but was cheating, allegedly cheating.
True.
And if you cheat in anything,
allegedly.
It's not good.
Yeah, of course.
You can't cheat. Don't cheat, Tom.
Yeah, of course.
But then he goes on and beats the greatest heavyweight.
That's true.
Number 1.
Yeah.
So Demetrius Johnson, he's beating guys like Henry Cejudo and Ray Borg.
So you're hinting at the
If he beat Ray Borg, maybe that would have been a different situation. Hall of Fame defenseman.
Yeah, a bit of a weight difference there too. So you're saying Daniel Cormier, much higher level of competition.
Absolutely. I mean, that's
impossible
obviously.
to argue.
Guy goes up against John Jones twice.
It's impossible
Stipe
to argue
Miocic.
Yeah. And the only time that DJ has fought, I don't want to say fought somebody known, but like tougher competition was Dominic Cruz.
Yes,
and he lost.
Yeah.
Also, that was however many years ago. Totally
years
different
ago.
fighter.
2011.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's definitely plagued by the division. The division is kind of weak. Seemingly weak anyway, right? Because there's no standout stars outside of DJ because he just dominates everybody. So, and I know Legacy is actually. I was gonna say Legacy is important to DJ, but very recently he's more or less just been like, whatever. I just want to make money. So, who knows? Maybe he's comfortable just cleaning out 125 for the rest of his career. But I think if he wants to be, and we talked about this earlier, if he wants to be considered the greatest of all time, he's got to go up. He's got to go up and fight.
Absolutely.
Either winner, right?
Yeah.
TJ or Cody.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if Garbrandt loses, you're going to have a trilogy fight.
You think so?
I mean, sorry, if Garbrandt wins.
Oh, yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
I misspoke. If Garbrandt wins, you have
you want to see him lose 3 times?
No. I mean, that'll be interesting too. But no. If Garbrandt wins,
No, I agree. Yeah, they probably will do the rubber match, and then DJ will probably fight, I don't know, Sergio Pettis if he gets a win or something, and then we'll all wait for them to do this super fight once more.
All right, I'm done talking about this co-main. I agree with you. I think it's
DJ by a landslide, by the way.
DJ
we're making picks.
Yeah, I'm going with DJ as well.
Real quick, interestingly enough, Henry Cejudo is a bigger underdog now than he was when they first fought.
Jesus.
How does that work? Guy's got 2 more years, 4 more fights under his belt, and they're like, you got less of a chance.
Well, I mean, we saw what happened the first time.
I suppose. That's a good point. Hopefully he's improved.
The main event of the evening, and here's another reason why I'm excited about this card. Don't get me wrong; these are 2 great fighters, but we've seen this before again.
Yeah, it is
Dillashaw, Garbrandt,
yeah.
and it's not like a lot of time has passed since we last saw this. Wow. In fact, both of these guys, their last fight was against each other.
Yeah,
and I have no idea why we're getting a rematch.
One of the most undeserved.
It's not like Garbrandt was this established champion for many years.
Never defended the belt.
And
some would say
it's not like there was a controversial finish.
No,
it was
at all.
Clearly a TJ Dillashaw knockout of Cody Garbrandt at New York City, UFC 217.
Big spot, huge spot. The only thing you could look at as to maybe why he almost had the fight won in the first round.
Yes,
very literally. TJ
yes, he won that first round. He had a knockdown. He
probably
led in significant strides.
I don't want to say probably would have, but looked like he could have finished it if he had 10
didn't.
more seconds.
No, he didn't.
Of course,
you can make that case in almost any fight in
you're not
UFC.
You're not wrong, but this happened. TJ was wobbly. He looked ahead of it. Cody was going in for the kill. Bell rang.
So we have to see this again because of that. Okay.
I mean,
Well,
yeah, I guess, right?
It will be a good fight, though. That's the thing. It's like these two guys
sure.
are big names. They have a rivalry.
Yeah, yeah.
And
there's good background there.
but the
stories.
They suck at trash talking.
They're terrible at it.
They're bad. But the thing is, their disdain against each other seems mutual.
Yeah, it's very real
And genuine.
Yeah.
Genuine disdain.
Yeah.
But they
got a long
suck at trash talking.
Yeah, it's a kind of a bummer that tends to be and made famous by Conor, of course. Like, everybody saw what Conor was able to do with his mouth, and they went, well, yeah, now I have to do that.
Yeah, well.
And I wonder how much of it is they themselves trying to do it, or if, like, they're feeling pressure from the UFC or their management.
But it's like, if you're not good at it, you're not good at it.
Be who
Steve
you are.
Miocic, he knows he's not good at it. He stays who he is.
Yeah, he stays respectful, humble.
Underrated trash talker, Daniel Cormier.
Daniel Cormier is
very underrated.
Fantastic.
The Cormier-Jones disdain is real, and their trash talk is good.
Oh, yeah.
McGregor versus anybody. But McGregor-Diaz is easily one of the best just because of
the dichotomy of
the
them
dichotomy
both.
of it, yeah. And Colby Covington, absolutely love it.
Fascinating,
Love
right?
it.
I find it very interesting that for a very long time, the buzz online was like, oh, this guy's so cringy. What's he doing? He's doing nothing for himself.
But now that he has an interim belt.
He talked his way into the White House.
He literally went to the White
He got
House
a
today.
picture with Donald Trump.
Unbelievable.
Unreal. Really upping
First UFC fighter ever to go to the White House.
Unreal.
And he's an interim champion.
Colby interim champ Covington.
And that belt's going away as soon as the bell strikes for UFC 228.
Probably left it there with Trump. It's amazing, though. He's really upping his heel persona.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He knows how to sell himself.
It's smart.
That's why he gets the title shots.
Yeah. Nerd Bash 2018 is hilarious.
So Dillashaw and Garbrandt now. Do you see anything differently happening in here in this fight?
It's interesting. So I'm looking at TJ. TJ has been, he's been training with Dwayne Ludwig, starting a new gym. He's got all these things. He seems to be taking the steps to improve himself. He trained a lot with Cub Swanson, actually, who's on the card, and they've sort of developed like a bit of a mutual respect and a friendship there. And I think TJ is going to learn a lot from Cub. Cub's a veteran. He's shifty, very unorthodox, gives you a lot of weird looks. And then I look at Cody and doesn't seem like anything's changed. He's still at Team Alpha Male. He's still probably the best striker at Team Alpha Male, so I don't know who's going to push him, who's going to teach him or motivate him to get any better. Or does he even need to, right? Because he's got amazing boxing. His hands are crisp, he's slick, he's lightning fast, good footwork, good head movement.
Before that Cruz fight, he entered that Cruz fight. All of his victories were knockouts, except for one unanimous decision. He was 10-0 with 9 knockouts, and then
seemingly
he could have finished Cruz in that fight too in 207.
Yeah, had a lot of knockouts.
So many opportunities to finish him, and he chose not to.
Kind of chose to style on him and clown him a little bit, which was kind of.
I remember all the showboating in that fight.
A lot of dancing. It was very interesting. I'd never seen such a thing, especially against somebody as dominant as Dom Cruz was for so long. But it's tough to say. So we were looking at the line for it, and it's pretty even, right? Even though Dillashaw finished him last, and I think that's about it. I think if these guys fight, 10 times, it might be 5-5. They're that close.
Yeah.
But I just think slight edge to TJ. I think TJ has done a little bit more to an inch goes a mile at that high level.
You're right.
So
I also think there's something to be said about hunger. And I think even though TJ's beat Cody already, he's still hungry for getting recognized in the MMA community as one of the best champions on the roster. And I don't think he's reached that yet. I think people still view Dominic Cruz as the greatest.
A good point. Yeah, he definitely has that chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, he still has a chip on his shoulder, and he's absolutely angling for another big victory of Garbrandt here, silence him, and then aim for either a rematch against Cruz or that super fight against Demetrius Johnson.
It's gotta happen.
And so that's why I'm going with TJ Dillashaw again in this fight. I mean, it's even.
It's a tough pick, right?
It's a tough pick. It's going to be a good fight.
It's going to be a great fight.
I think it'll be a brawl, and I think TJ Dillashaw comes away.
A technical brawl, right? It's going to get...
See, that's another thing. I think it'll be slow the first few rounds because...
A feeling out process?
Yeah, feeling out process, which I don't like. I don't like
Yeah.
5 rounds. I think 3 rounds is
Really?
enough.
Even in title fights?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. I just like maybe
You want forced action.
Yeah. Just
I gotcha.
have a lot of these times you have these 5-round fights and then you get this feeling out process. It's just like because they want to rest themselves and then
Pace them.
Yeah. You know, that's not a fight. That's 25 minutes is a long time to fight someone.
Yeah.
It's,
3 rounds is a tough.
Have you ever been in a fight?
No, not for 25 minutes.
Yeah, just in any fight, just like in the high
Back
school
in the
playground.
day, that's a couple shots and then running away.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe 30
Same
seconds
here.
max.
Yeah. That's why we're talking about fighting and not actually fighting. All right, this 227 card, the rest of the card, looking at it, very lackluster. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, not a lot of star power on it.
What,
the only other fight on there that I was super
Yeah.
interested or super excited for actually is Cub Swanson, because I'm a big fan of Cub. He always puts on a good fight. And
Hanato
Moicano. I don't want to ruin his name.
I like Moicano.
I like Moicano too. His last showing against Calvin Cater was
Calvin Cater, Boston's own Calvin Cater.
Boston's own. How dare me?
He's been in this very studio before, Tom.
That's true. I met him once.
Yeah.
I shook his hand and I said his name wrong. What an ass. That was an impressive fight, man.
He absolutely silenced him.
Yeah, he's very technically sound. You're talking about, interesting fights. I don't think he's a particularly interesting fighter because he kind of seems to not take risks, which is smart. Like, it's obviously propelling him up the rankings here to fight. Was he number 5 ranked? Cub Swanson. This is a big spot for him. But I just think Cub is too good. He's too. I think it might be a little too much for Moicano right now. I know Moicano's ranked high, but
Moicano is 10th.
Yeah, top 10. That's
and
legit.
you, if Moicano beats Swanson here, and he's heavily favored to do so.
Unbelievable! I cannot believe that Cub Swanson is a plus 300 underdog.
Well,
that
believe
is
it.
Shocking.
Moicano put on and Moicano lost to Ortega. That was his only loss in his career. That was Ortega's the submission
nothing.
Submission heard around the world.
Yeah, Brian Ortega was a beast.
Yeah, and you if Moicano gets a win here, he's already beat Jeremy Stevens. He can propel himself to the number 4 spot in the featherweight ranking.
Resume, for sure. Yeah, no, this is a big spot for him. This is a huge spot for him, and pretty insulting to Cub Swanson, I think. Just the fact that he even has to fight him. He's fighting backwards. And the fact that he's that that much of an underdog is just astonishing to me.
Yeah, he's coming off back-to-back losses too.
But to killers. Cub only loses to killers. So that's the question.
Yeah, he's lost to Ortega as well.
Yeah, which again, killer.
And Frankie Edgar.
Killer. Former champions and absolute
But
killers.
that's the thing. That's in the story with Swanson throughout his career. He can beat Artem Lobov, but he loses to Frankie Edgar.
Don't even bring that fight up.
He beats Artem Lobov. If he can't beat Edgar, he can't beat Max Holloway.
That fight should never have happened. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. That was a main event, I believe, too, right? That was a card headline.
That's Conor pushing Lobov.
That is that. It's that Conor shine right there.
He also lost to Aldo. He also lost to Mendez back in the day when Mendez was Mendez.
No shame.
He lost to Ricardo Lamas when he was one of the top fighters.
No shame in either of those.
But that's the thing. He loses the big fights.
So do we think Moicano is a world beater? Do we think Moicano is elite level title contention?
The way he fought against Calvin Cater
looked good.
He looked good, and if he beats if he beats if Moicano beats Swanson here, it looks good for Cater because Cater lost to a.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But that's just our Boston bias here. So,
yeah, of course, we're just looking for the angle.
One fight I'm looking at UFC 228 is. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really know much about UFC 227. I don't know why I keep jumping at it. That just shows how ready I am to get past this card, 227 card.
Yeah, you see Conor on the horizon, you get excited.
Yeah, seriously. Polyana Viana, women's strawweight bout against J.J. Aldrich. You're looking at this fight, and you're like, okay, it's someone in her second UFC fight against J.J. Aldrich, who is...
Doesn't have a lot of experience.
In her fourth UFC fight, and she, not big names, but the more you think about it, this fight might have some title implications, Tom.
Which is crazy.
But Polyana Viana, she coming into this with 6 straight first-round finishes. She's heavily favored in this fight. She puts on a big performance here, another big first-round finish.
Yeah.
Who's Rose Namajunas supposed to fight? And
everyone's booked.
Everyone's either booked, and she's not going to fight yet Jacek again.
Can't do that.
Might as well, you know, maybe Viana will get like a top 5 fight.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, let's not propel her up to championship status when you have all these other girls that are way more established ahead of her. It's just a weird booking situation for the women's strawweight division.
I mean,
right now.
Again, can't be a Jacek.
Can't be.
Maybe it can be.
It shouldn't be. It probably will, given the weird matchup decisions they've been making lately.
And then number 2, Andrade is fighting number 4, Kovalkiewicz.
Yeah, the winner of that, I think, personally, should get the next shot. Because either one's interesting. Because Carolina beat Rose already in what? I don't remember if it was unanimous or if it was.
It was split at UFC 201.
Yeah, I thought that should have been unanimous.
Yeah.
Carolina
I was
really
just trying to be controversial, but hey, maybe
Carolina worked there, man. She got her in the clinch, and Rose didn't know what to do.
I do think it would be good for the division to get someone like Viana to like rise, just get people, because you know it was supposed to be Paige Van Zandt, and then she's kind of disappeared. It was supposed to be Michelle Watterson, and then she kind of disappeared.
She lost to Rose.
Yeah, and then Rose propelled herself to the title, and obviously she can't fight Joanna until, you know, I guess loses the belt. I don't know. Like,
it's a weird spot. Yeah, it's a weird spot. I mean, I feel for Joanna, right?
She's in the Joseph Benavidez situation.
Ooh, what an analogy.
No, it's true, because he's lost twice to DJ, and he's never gonna get another title shot until.
Yeah, no, it's a travesty. Dude's only lost to DJ and Dom Cruz, and he probably won't get the recognition that he deserves. He's a talented fighter, but and I can see. I mean, it's a little different because Joanna was a dominant champ forever. But I know what you mean. You're in that situation where UFC tends to not want to do that.
Right.
What's gonna? You lost twice.
Right.
How are we gonna sell this third fight? But I don't know. Joanna is an interesting character. She's dominant. She puts on good fights. I loved both of those fights. I would watch that fight. I would get excited for that fight. But I don't know. It's a tough sell to the casual viewer.
No,
they seem to appeal to.
Anyway, Tom, this was our UFC 227 preview Saturday night on pay-per-view. But Tom.
Yes.
Tomorrow, on Friday, big press conference. UFC is holding a big press conference.
That's right.
And there are going to be some
rumors.
Rumors floating around. Maybe a certain Irishman.
Yeah, a certain Russian.
And a certain Russian might be there in Los Angeles.
May or may not have purchased some plane tickets, according to the social media.
Maybe a two-belt champion might also be there. Who knows? Maybe.
That should be interesting.
And
curious to see.
Maybe a Cyborg and the Nunez might be there.
I hope so.
We'll see what these fights are that's announced. And once it's announced, Tom, I'd like to sit down here with you again and discuss all the craziness that might.
The fights on the horizon.
If nothing exciting happens, then forget it.
Yeah, no, I'm gone.
Yeah. But if you do see an Irishman and the Russian, and that podium during the press conference tomorrow,
fireworks.
I would like to sit here and do another podcast.
Absolutely.
But if not, UFC 227, Saturday night, Dillashaw, Garbrandt, once again, number 2, and DJ and Cejudo, number 2. 2 fights we've seen before. I'm hoping for something crazy to happen, like an upset. Like Garbrandt wins the belt. But I think it'll be DJ and TJ.
I don't think there is an upset. I think the only upset is Henry Cejudo knocking out DJ.
Right.
Which I wouldn't put any money on.
Unbelievable. That would change the world.
I would put money on Cub Swanson, everybody out there. If you're inclined to...
That's not a bad bet, yeah.
Plus 300.
Plus 300 is a lot.
For a Cub Swanson. Talented
it's a lot.
Talented fighter. That's all I'm saying. Good money out there.
All right, guys. Tom, thanks again.
Thank you.
See you later, everybody.